Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. I'm dark, but it is dark outside, so we'll see what's going on here. But anyway, I'm going to be working on some random stuff on this stream. Just got a couple of things that I want to tighten up. First, we're going to be looking at the tutorial skull character guy because the steering behaviors that are at work on this guy are still very weird. So I have an idea for how I want to split this up. And so, yeah, we're going to see how that goes before we move into anything else. But I think, I think the game is looking pretty good, generally speaking. I got through, I don't know if you remember the big to-do list that I had this morning, but I basically got through everything. So now just trying to do some odds and ends stuff. Maybe I should write this down. Improve steering behaviors of Skull Guide. I want to play around with the camera shake settings a little bit. Let's see if I can make that feel a little bit nicer. And what else? Yeah, that's basically it. And then maybe we'll work on some new content or something. But yeah. Anyway, before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that Alchemortis is available for wishlisting. I'm not necessarily going to pull up all the ads or anything, but all the ways you could support the game are in the description below. So definitely check those out if you're interested. I very much appreciate that. The Patreon exclusive playtest is coming out on Friday, so just in a couple days here. And so active Patreon subscribers will be able to play the playtest for 1 week before everyone else, and then the playtest will be open to anyone who wants to play it starting the week after that. So yeah, check out the Patreon if you're interested, Wishlist Alchemortis if you're interested. And yeah, let's get right into it. Hello, Jackie Daytona. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. Hello, Woo-Yes. Welcome again. My favorite reason to procrastinate. Very nice. Hello, Ninja Link. I'm currently traveling for work, so I'm way behind on streams. Oh, that's all right. I hope your travels are going well as traveling can go, I guess. Okay, so what I want to do... let me think. Scale root visuals. The visuals are what's being scaled here. What is the scale root? Am I not using the scale route at all? Oh, I see. So that's being used to flip. This is being used. We've got this route here. Okay, I probably want to rework this a little bit. Okay, we're going to take this route and we're going to put that here. We're going to put this all under that route. Okay. All right. Hopefully that works. I hope I didn't break anything, but let's see. Oh, I did break stuff. How in the world did that break? I don't understand. Oh, the idle animation player. Shoot. Okay, so I need to change these positions. Oh, I see. Okay. This route here was to zero out all of these positions. Oh. But this arm position... Okay. All right. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate. I guess what we'll just do is we'll just create another node 2D wander route. We'll put this under here. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna end up using this wander route for the wandering. I think there's some weird things happening with how I'm doing the wander together with the steering toward the target position. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take that desired speed, desired wander correction force. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to comment that out, paste it down here, and I'm going to start deleting stuff. So route position, distance percent, adjusted acceleration distance, desired speed, desired acceleration, get rid of this wander stuff. We're going to get rid of this noise sample stuff. We might need that normal delta though. Get rid of this. Force, wander direction, I don't know what all this is. We're going to take this desired velocity is that. Steering desired velocity minus velocity. Acceleration, steering normalized divided by acceleration, or times acceleration. What is all this? Okay, and then this goes away too. All right, so I'm just trying to get the movement working, the movement towards the point working and remove the wandering. How did the Steam playtest go before? Get anything useful from it? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Lots of people offered a lot of good feedback, so yeah, it was definitely very helpful. Okay, interesting. So we get this kind of oscillation back and forth now, even though I don't have any wandering. Desired speed, distance percent, min speed dead zone, 32. Distance percent. Oh, does this need to be mathf dot max of 0 and adjusted distance minus dead zone? Yeah, I think that's what I needed. So that would have been useful to have in my previous setup. Let's see what that does. Let's see what that does. But yeah, in terms of the playtest, I got a bunch of useful feedback. All kinds of useful stuff. It's still oscillating around. So I got all kinds of useful feedback, feedback on the game design, how everything felt, all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping to get more of that for this playtest for sure. At least I'm not getting snowed on. Yeah, I think the snow finally stopped here. How chic, is that what that word is? Traveling for work? Hello, Angie. I heard yesterday that you're currently not thinking of translating the game, but if you ever wish to translate to Spanish, I can help out with that. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hello, Emerson. So I don't know why this is happening here. Why is it just oscillating around? Distance percent. Adjusted distance. Clamp distance to root. Oh, this is being clamped, so this actually doesn't do anything. Okay, so that would explain why I didn't see anything. So this is going to become 0. So that distance percent is 0. Desired speed is lerp min speed and max speed to distance percent. Oh, I think I want to set this min speed here to 0 then. Maybe that's what I'm missing. I basically want just to get the motion down so that it will accelerate and then stop. Yeah, I think that's right. And then we're going to change this speed dead zone, acceleration dead zone to 16. Speed dead zone is 16. Oops, wrong button. And the Godot editor crashed. That's like the 5th time that Godot 4.6 has just crashed on me. That is annoying. Is there a way to turn on the console from here? I may have to just do that. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Gonna go to open up my Godot. I'm gonna open up Godot with the console here. Stop and quit. Open this up. So hopefully, well, actually, I don't know if that's going to help either. Hold on a second. Alrighty, so we'll just leave this up. Hopefully then, if it crashes again, I'll be able to see why it's crashing. I'm going to go ahead and just slap this on over to my other monitor so I don't have to deal with it. But if Godot crashes again, we should be able to check that console and see what's going on. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this, or run the game, I mean. We'll see what's going on. Translating seems a pain in terms of themes. Do you need to create new versions per language? Because font sizes will probably need to change, or as well the default fonts for each language. I think what I would do is, if there's not a pixel font that can support the language, what I would just do is I would just change the render mode to, or the stretch mode to canvas items rather than viewport. And that should work pretty well. Why is that way overshooting now? Try that. But yeah, I think I would just use a higher resolution if I was going to translate to a language that doesn't have a pixel font support. I would need to change the fonts and whatnot though, for sure. So it's like overshooting sometimes. Okay, let's do min speed dead zone. Min speed is 0. min acceleration. Guess we'll just do 0. Let's see what happens. What is the hand thing that keeps showing up on the screen? The hand thing? Oh, that's the recenter camera button. What happens if I make the min speed dead zone 0 as well? Chic, fancy. We could teach you one Portuguese word every day. Is that a Portuguese word? I thought it was French. Hello, Clicker Tail. Welcome, welcome. I'll have to look into that route, thanks. Yeah, for sure. Are you on track to complete your one thing this week? I am, yes. I'm basically just doodling right now, just tweaking a bunch of random stuff. I'm gonna change this for 4. Yeah, let's go, yeah. I'm just really like, this is not a very important thing that I'm working on right now, but I'm improving the movement of this guy a little bit because he had a tendency to just completely overshoot things and fly off screen. So I'm hoping that this is a little bit better. And now my cat is eating a cable. Go, get! Oh my goodness. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this wander behavior now. So that I still want him to wander around, but I'm going to make that local rather than global. So the global position is just going to be him trying to get to the place where he needs to be. He's still overshooting it though. I don't understand that. I guess we could turn the min acceleration down to 0. Let's see if that works. It is French as well. I see, interesting. Must have missed that stream. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I have no idea what's going on with this. I don't know what's going on. I guess we just always need some kind of acceleration in place. I literally have no idea. Desired acceleration, min acceleration, acceleration distance %. I'm about to just change this whole thing and get rid of all this nonsense. I like the natural movement that it gives, but it's just way too freaking hard to get it to work how I need it to work. So, instead of doing this nonsense, we are going to delete all of that. And we're just going to do a lerp. Global position dot lerp. Global position equals global position dot lerp. What are we doing? Get anchor position. 1f minus mathf dot exp. We'll do something light, -3f float delta. or no, negative 3f times float.delta. All right, let's see what that does. Hello, Ariane, I think. Or I don't know how to say that name either. Welcome back, though. I remember you. Dumb question, is the chat highlight thing you use when reading a custom-made plugin? No, it's called Social Stream Ninja or something like that. Okay. We'll just work with that, I suppose. That's much better. And we'll just do -2. I just don't want it to be too fast when I'm like too far away. That works fine to me. I might even knock it down even more. Cool. All right, so then we can do the wandering, just sort of local, I guess. So I'm going to try to put the wandering back in, except we're going to want to grab a reference to the wander route now. We're basically just going to fake this. Wander route. Oh, Godot crashed again. Look at that. Let's see what we got going on here. Program crash with signal 11. Okay, that doesn't look helpful at all. Program crash with signal 11. This is not helpful. Why is it crashing so much? That's annoying. Okay, so we've got the wander route marked as a unique position. So now, distance to route, just a distance. Wander correction force, desired acceleration. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Okay. Min speed dead zone 0, max speed dead zone 64. Min speed, max speed. Do I even need this? Wander radius. Oh, am I not setting the wander position anymore? Hold on a second. Oh, shoot. Gonna have to put that all back. Let's see. Wander local target. Wander local target if wander route dot position dot distance squared to wander local target, steering target radius, wander local target. That's fine. Okay, this global position needs to be wander route dot position. Wander direction. I think I was doing this wrong before. Maybe that explains why it didn't work. Anyway. Wanderroot is my new parody song of ABBA's Waterloo. Interesting. I don't know ABBA, so sorry. The reference doesn't land. If you had a Windows desktop with a 2070 and an i7-9700, would you rather make a game in that machine or a MacBook Pro with an M4 Pro? Having trouble choosing the machine, TBH. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a matter of personal preference. I don't like Macs at all, so I probably would just use the Windows desktop unless it was like noticeably slower than the Mac. So my order of priority is like, which works the fastest, which has the lowest load times, compile times, build times, whatever. And then if those are roughly equivalent, then I would choose the Windows machine. I absolutely hate Macs. I hate them. But, I mean, they're good machines, don't get me wrong. There's something about them that just does not jive with me. And this is coming from somebody, like, I used a MacBook Pro every day for my software engineering job because that's what they handed out to the teams. And I did not enjoy a single minute of working on those machines over the many, many years that I was a software engineer. I have an M4 MacBook and it's amazing. Predominantly use Mac and Linux. I avoid Windows aside from testing. Yeah, the Apple chips are really good. The Apple chips are very good, but anyway, yeah, I mean it's all to personal preference. I don't think the machine necessarily matters as long as there's not a huge difference. MacBooks have a better resale value, but Windows machines are cheaper to maintain. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't had any, I mean, to be honest, I haven't had any problems with my MacBooks at all. Like I've used MacBooks since 2017 for work, and I've gotten like 3 different MacBooks from 3 different employers. And I never had a single problem with any of them. Didn't have any battery issues, didn't have any keyboard issues, didn't have to ever bring them into the shop or contact my employer for a replacement. Never had to do any of that. So yeah, I don't know if I was just lucky or what. Not on Linux 2026. Yeah, Linux is almost equally annoying. Like the last time I tried Linux, I couldn't change the speed of the scroll wheel from the settings. Like I couldn't do it. I had to install this script that ran at startup with a certain configuration file set to change the scroll speed, the amount of lines that the scroll goes or whatever. I forgot exactly what it was, but that was when I quit using Linux. I was like, I'm not doing that. Anyway, you know, everyone's got their preferences. Windows is a big pile of garbage, but it's also incredibly plug and play. So I just want to get to working and not have to tinker with the OS or whatever, or click through 5 different permissions windows after I've explicitly decided to install something. Looking at you, Mac. Anyway, but you can't go wrong with really anything. Whatever you're most productive with is what you should use. Don't let a stranger on the internet dissuade you from using what you love. The Razer Pro Series laptops are very nice and closest to a MacBook for me, but they don't dissipate heat well, and using them safely on your lap is out of the question because the fans underneath. Oh, interesting. That seems like a design flaw for a laptop to have fans on the bottom. I think I just don't like laptops generally. Like, I just need to be able to sit at a desk with both monitors and the powerful PC, which doesn't have a battery. I think maybe that's one of the big things is like, I hate having to monitor the battery levels of my devices. Like just having to always worry about like, is my phone too low? Does it need to be charged? And like having to be within distance of being tethered to the wall in case you need to charge your device is like, at that point, like I would just rather have a desktop. And that's what I have. 100% agree. Yeah. Anyway, it's all right. It's okay. I don't hate either OS, but I do not know engines, compatibility, and stability. I'm guessing power-wise I should be good with either. Yeah, I mean, Godot works fine on anything, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so yeah, I don't understand what's going on in here. Desired speed, desired acceleration, delta, noise. So we got the steering direction, wander direction, steering direction. I don't know. I don't think I'm ever accounting for the wander position in here. That would have been a problem. Wander direction, direction to steering direction. So that's the force direction. Wander direction not normalized. Desired speed. Wander direction. So the desired velocity actually needs to be wander route dot direction to dot position dot direction to wander local target. That's what that needs to be. This desired speed here. I don't know if any of this is going to be relevant, but sorry, velocity minus velocity, steering dot normalized times desired acceleration. Velocity plus equals acceleration times delta. Wander route position is equal to velocity times delta, or plus equals velocity times delta. Okay, I have no idea if this is going to work, but let's see. So basically I'm changing the wander behavior to be local to this wander route, and so that's not going to affect the overall motion of the thing. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. Where are you going? What? I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. Okay, we're going to dramatically, I don't know. This is all going away. This is all going away. We are going to get rid of all this nonsense. Getting rid of this, we're just going to get rid of all of this. Go away, go away, go away. Okay. Private const float. Wander acceleration is equal to 100F. Cool. All right. We're going to get rid of all of this. We're going to get rid of all of this. Velocity is equal to route, wander route, dot position, dot direction to wander local target. Well, this is the desired velocity, var desired velocity. Okay. Var acceleration vector is equal to desired velocity minus the current velocity. Is that right? Desired acceleration vector, I don't know. Acceleration vector, this should be... Actually do... Well, let's just do it normalized first. Acceleration vector times wander acceleration. Bar delta equals float get process delta time. I do have a problem with Windows 11. It's the same as Vista 8, terrible after a great OS like XP. I haven't upgraded my Windows 10 machine and doubt I will. Yeah, double Scully, one working Scully. Yeah, I have no idea why that happened. That's an amazing bug. You just kept flipping around. I just don't... Maybe I can't do what I'm trying to do. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can't do what I'm trying to do. That's unfortunate. Is that unfortunate? Maybe it's not unfortunate. I'll figure that out in a second. I don't think this is going to work either. I don't know why. Why am I having such a hard time? I used to be able to just like implement steering behaviors, and now I'm just doing it wrong. This is not doing anything. Rand direction, randf range 032, wander local target. Wander route dot position distance squared to wander local target is less than 8 times 8. Acceleration vector times wander acceleration times delta. Okay, we're going to simplify this even more. No, that's right. Desired velocity. Oh, I guess this needs to be desired velocity times... I don't have a speed, so let's just do 100 or 50. Okay. I doubt that's going to work, but we'll see. Are you going to have to hit a seed system so players can share their maps? Kind of like, I don't know what a TBOI is. Where me and my friends would share our seeds to see how we played it out. Yes, this does support seeds, so that is definitely going to be a thing. So yeah, the goal is to allow players to share seeds with each other. I also kind of like the idea of down the road having like a daily run, which all players share. So it would just take like the system date or whatever, or maybe something more sophisticated than that, but it would use that as like a seed. And so every day there would be like a daily run, which is just a fixed seed. So basically everyone will play the same map if you want to do that. And then, you know, just being able to have like a friendly competition or whatever, like with your friends and say, hey, let's try the daily run Alchemortis and see who can beat it first, you know? I think that'd be cool. But yeah, all the runs are seeded, so yeah. You will be able to share the seeds with people, and if you play on one seed, your friend will get the exact same seed with all the same options and everything. So yeah, I think that'd be fun. I think that could be really fun. All right, I'm making the acceleration a little bit more gentle here, but I think I've basically... I don't know why it's moving so fast. That's the thing. Do I need to turn down this acceleration even more? Maybe I do. Try that. Could also be useful for special events, like a specific map that can be only played in that seed. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Maybe this needs to go up. Oh, my wander excel. Oh, I wasn't changing the right value. Turn that up to 50. Wander acceleration up to 25. Okay. I don't even know why. If I'm going to use magic numbers, I'm going all the way. Let's go all the way. Okay. Let's see. I mean, you shouldn't use magic numbers, but... can't really be bothered to fix that for this little tutorial guy. Okay, is this working now? So if I move away... oh, and then we've got him, yeah, doubling up again. So I think that's probably due to the scale route or something. I need to look at how the direction is actually being determined. But this looks a lot better, for sure. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I might tweak a couple of things here. So the desired velocity, we're going to turn this down a little bit. And the acceleration will turn down as well, just a little bit. Bonus stream, yay, yeah. Never understood why they're called magic numbers. The reason why they're called magic numbers is because if it's just a number that's written in line, you don't have any context about what that number represents. So it's magic because it's doing something and you don't know what it is. And so, and then if you have two of the same number, like let's say you have 10, you have the number 10 in two places. It can be hard to know whether that is supposed to be the same, like that's supposed to represent the same thing, or are those two 10s representing separate values, right? And so if the 10 is just in line there, you have no idea. Like if I change one 10 from 10 to 12, do I also need to change this 10 from 10 to 12, or does this represent something else, right? And so the magic number problem is basically that, which is like you don't have the context about the string or the number that's being used. And so you put it in a variable with a very specific name, or you put it as a member of a class where it's got a constant value, and that gives you the context that you need to know what that number actually represents. So yeah, that's basically what magic numbers are. They just exist and what they do is unknown, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. I joined a game jam that starts tomorrow, hoping to get a team that has getting on a team as a graphic designer. If not, I guess I'm solo. Well, good luck to you. Usually means a mage put it there. Hello, Kirksoft. Welcome. It's magic because it comes out of nowhere like magic. Yeah. Okay, so we've got this guy floating around now. We just still have to fix him flipping like a madman. There he goes, 2 again, but let's see if I can probably fix that, but I just want to see what happens. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now he should have less of a tendency to fly off the map, which is good. But now I want to look at the flip behavior and see. Look at arm.globalposition.direction2. Look at anchor position, arm.globalposition.direction2, look at anchor position. Oh, the problem is that, yeah, so I actually need... So basically what's happening is that this wander route is moving him around like this. And so if the position that the arm is supposed to be looking at is like, let's see. So if the position the arm is looking at looks like this, for example, or let's say that the arm is supposed to be pointing at the origin here. This scale route is being scaled, which scales this -1 in the x, but now the arm is on the opposite side of the target, and so it needs to flip back, right? And so it's just flipping back and forth very rapidly because of the position. So what I need to do probably is I can probably just scale the wander route itself. I don't think, maybe I don't need this scale route necessarily. So let me just try that. So instead of setting the scale route scale, I'm going to set the wander route.scale. And I may not even need this scale route anymore. Oh wait, I'm changing the wander route position. I think that's okay. I don't know, let's see. Where are you going? Where are you going, sir? Maybe he needs a higher acceleration. Let's give him a little bit of a higher acceleration. We cannot check the vector in which the force is applied each frame, right? Wouldn't make sense performance-wise either. I don't know what that's the context of, but yeah, checking force vectors every frame is totally fine. Yeah. If you need to know where a vector is pointing every frame, then you should absolutely get that. I don't know what that's in reference to though, so it's possible I'm missing something, but yeah, I mean, there are some things that you do, like if you're doing steering behaviors, you need to get the value and change the values of every vector that's part of the system, basically every frame. I mean, I'm sure there's a fancy way you could handle it where you could, interpolate and only update the core vectors every, 0.1 seconds or whatever. But for the most part, yeah, when you're doing steering vectors, you're going to be updating a lot of vectors every frame and checking a lot of vectors every frame. Okay, this is working a lot nicer. I don't know why that is happening out there. There's like a little part of fire, part of flame. Flame particles. Am I turning that off? Flame particles dot emitting equals false. I should turn this to flame particles dot emitting equals false here. I don't really know why that's happening. All right, I've spent enough time trying to debug this, and I feel like I've encountered this before, but I don't remember a solution. When does Godot not trigger input on an area through 3D with mouse click? I've made sure it's on the top of the view layers that it has input ray pickable. I don't know about 3D, so I don't know. My understanding, though, is that if you have any control nodes that are pass, that could be intercepting the mouse event. I think what happens is that if a control node is configured as pass, it will then only take that input and pass it up the tree, and it won't propagate to the rest of the input handling system. I think. I could be wrong about that, but I remember dealing with something like that before. So I don't know if that's true or not, so maybe double check that, but I'm just mentioning that as a possibility. Okay, this is looking pretty good so far. And of course I died. You've been defeated. I don't know why he goes up there after you die, but that's all right. We don't need to worry about that. That was one of the things I checked too. In the debug, I even turned off the whole UI layer and it wasn't working. Interesting. It has input ray pickable. Did you also put it? I mean, I know for 2D this is how it works, so it may not work for 3D, but did you also make sure that it's in at least one collision layer? I'm assuming you have, but just covering all bases. I was just thinking on knowing the direction Skull should be moving. It feels like he should flip as soon as the shift's direction. Maybe I'm just overthinking a tutorial item. Yeah, well, he flips based on where he is relative to the thing that he's supposed to be pointing out. So it's not based on his direction. It's based on the direction to the thing that he should be pointing at. Because the reason is, like, if he was like in this case, you see how he starts moving to the right sometimes? Well, I messed it up, but you know, he was pointing at this, but sometimes his velocity pushes him over to the right. Well, I don't want him to point in the direction of velocity. I want him to point in the direction of the thing that he should be pointing at, irrespective of his velocity. So, Yeah, I'm just checking the position every frame. Okay, what is the direction from where he is and where he's supposed to point to? And if the X value for that is negative, which means that he's pointing to the left, then he needs to be flipped to point to the left, visually speaking. And if it's positive, then it just needs to be pointing to the right, visually speaking. Yeah, actually, input ray pickable and collision layer 1 are default on all areas anyway. Gotcha. I'm sure I just need to step away for a bit. Yeah. I mean, the other thing to check too, just throwing that out there, you know, make sure you're not sharing collision shapes by reference inadvertently, because, you know, you may think that the collision shape is one size, but you shared a reference on accident and then you made the other one smaller and now they're both smaller. But just, you know, that's a pitfall as well, but I have no idea if that's the problem you're facing. Just throwing out some stuff to get the noggin jogging. Oh, I was going to say, how did I lose? Because I'm applying 8 preserve to the enemy here. Interesting. Hello, Bomb That Implodes. Welcome back. Good to see you. Yeah, you're welcome. Now, the other problem, though, is that when this scales out... Okay, I'm going to stage this before I break anything. The other problem, though, is that when this scales out, so this... Should I just be scaling this wander route and this route here? Maybe if I move the visuals up and I change the scale route here, then I put this route. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, that should work. So now the scale route ups. Why is this scaling the visuals? Let's scale the scale route instead. Scale route. And now the visuals should basically not be... This is scale route.scale. Okay, I don't need a reference to this visuals anymore. And then we need to access that as unique name. Okay. Goodness gracious. One last feedback I've seen these past few days. It feels odd as a UX thing that you alchemize, but you don't get a prompt or something to pick your card to continue. You do get a prompt. It's just in the form of an error message, but I'm trying to do like minimal prompts in the game, generally speaking. So I'll show you as soon as I get to the alchemy here. And I died, so hold on a second. Oh, that's a bug. Oh well. Probably shouldn't allow the clicking until all the cards are on the board. But let's not worry about that for now. Okay. Why am I not winning? What in the heck? Oh, it's probably because whatever. It's fine. Let's see. Goodness gracious. I'll get through this tutorial combat level eventually. Okay. So if I look at my alchemy here and I do this, there's no prompt to take the card, but if I try to close this, it won't let me do anything. Like I can't advance and I can't click anything. I can drag these around, but so I actually do have to take a card. I think maybe some kind of animated thing that could indicate that cards are ready to be taken, but I don't want to do like traditional prompts or anything. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think maybe having some kind of animation that indicates that I should take something. Some kind of like bouncy, interactive animation. I think that would be good for sure. Dang it. Gonna eat. All right, enjoy, V, and thanks for joining. And hope to see you tomorrow. Yo, and hello, and hi. Hello, Defected. Hello, Zachary. Welcome back. You improved art direction a lot since your last game. Great stuff. Thank you, HP Jonas. Yeah, I think so. I think Alchemortis is my best game so far. Let's see if it's good enough to sell on Steam, but certainly better than Gunforge. If Gunforge could sell as many copies as it did, then by golly, Alchemortis can do it too. Then by golly, Alchemortis can do it too. Find myself as a player that I'd love to binge play Alchemortis and might drop off a work call after doing alchemy. Drop off. Oh, so something like that animation would be great. Yeah, I think there's definitely maybe a way to draw the player's attention more to the fact that the alchemy is ready. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. Let's add it to the backlog. Add some kind of animation or other indicator when cards are ready, retrieved from alchemy. So we'll have to think about that for sure. Goodbye, Inquisition. Back to menu. Okay. Finally got that skull behavior down. Okay, improve skull behavior. So that was dramatically simplified and also much less buggy now. That was bothering me. Tweak camera shake settings. I don't know about this one. We're gonna see what I can do for this. But I think the camera shake could be a little bit smoother, so I'm going to play around with my camera shake settings and see what's going on. So in order to test this, woo doggy, that's a huge button. That is a huge button. Layout. What in the heck? Oh, here we go. Container sizing. Shrink center, shrink center. Oh, you know what? I think I need to custom button. I'll get this eventually. Shrink center, shrink begin. Okay, that'll work. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do shake. Shake test button. So I'm just setting up that button so I can actually test the camera shake in game. So we'll just do a 100% shake on that. I pressed the wrong button again. It's all right. It's my favorite approach. Do the best you can and pray that it works. We're gonna head off to bed now. It's past 12:30 and gotta wake up early for work tomorrow. Hope to catch you all in the next one. Much love, all, and good night. Well, good night to you as well, Angie. Thanks for joining, and hope to see you in a future one. Oh, I still have the tutorial enabled. Enable tutorial, there we go. We can turn this back down to 0 as well. Okay. So now I can open up my... So now we can test the screen shake. And the screen shake is actually not that bad, but I want to see if I can make it feel a little bit nicer. And then we'll bring that over to the camera shake as well. I don't know exactly why it bothered me. I think it feels a little bit too violent or something. Or... yeah, I don't know. We're just going to play with it. We're going to see. Again, this is a very low stakes stream. I'm not changing anything that's like super critical for the game, but you know, just having some fun with it, just tweaking and changing some numbers and whatnot all throughout the game. Generally just tightening the screws, you know. Anyway, but I am going to take a quick 3-minute break for now. And then when I come back, we will continue on with this camera shake stuff. And then if we're feeling it, we could do some more content or something like that. So yeah, I'll be right back in 3 minutes. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these messages. Okay, I'm back. Let's go ahead and tweak these camera settings, which I'm actually very much looking forward to. Event camera. Is this just... hold on a second. I guess this is just a custom class. Event camera. Shaky canvas layer. Very cool, very cool. All right, so shaky canvas layer. So we've got these max shake intensity, shake decay rate, noise speed, max offset, and then we've got the noise here. Okay. So what do I want to change? And I wonder if I could probably just change these things in the editor here and play around with them. So shake decay rate. Let's turn the noise speed up a little bit. We'll see what happens. And what I'm going to also do is I'm going to add another button here. Duplicate shake test button 2. That's fine. Shake 0.5. Layout. Shrink end. So we'll just throw that over there. Okay, go to the drawer UI. Node private button, shake test button 2. Shake test button. Oh, there we go. Look at that. So we'll do a 50% shake when that's present, or when that's clicked, I mean. And we'll see how that looks. Okay. So let's turn the noise speed down, actually. Max offset 8. Let's see what that does. The shake 0.5 doesn't work that well, so we're going to go up to maybe 800. So it was 750 before. I did turn the max offset down. I think that makes sense, but if I turn the max offset down, I think I can get away with having a higher noise speed here. So let's try that. Really, I need to find a set of values that makes it look good for the half shake and the full shake. Shake intensity. Okay, so I think that makes sense. I think the shake decay rate can probably be lowered a little bit. I'm going to turn down this noise speed just a little bit. I might even turn down this max offset even more. Let's see how this looks going through the combat a little bit. Also, I think there's a screen shake when I do this. How is this max offset? Oh, max offset times current shake intensity. Interesting. I might want to change. Okay, anyway. I probably shouldn't have skipped that. I'm trying to see what the screen shake looks like in combat here. I think I'm going to change the numbers a little bit. Effect player component. Event camera do shake, so 0.5. So I'm using 0.5 a lot of cases, so that would be an offset of 3. I almost wonder if I put it up. So I had it at 10. I'm going to try 12. So obviously a shake of 1 at 12 is going to be very, very intense. But the shake of 5, that looks a little bit more reasonable. I might change the shake decay rate again and change the noise speed again. See what that does. Yeah, that makes it a little bit more sluggish, camera shake recovery. Let's see how that looks, you know, in various places here. Okay, that feels pretty good. Go here, let's take a look at what the combat feels like. I don't know. I don't know. Let me look at this. Do add shake. Am I doing this anywhere? So there's a couple of confounding issues here. Obviously, the actual values of this shaky canvas layer are going to affect things, but also the way in which I am calling these methods to add shake. So I'm just trying to work backwards from what I've got here in terms of this UI. So just trying to visualize, okay, this is what a full shake looks like here. So that's like if I need a max intensity shake for whatever reason, that's what that looks like, okay? But then if I have like something more subtle, like just a 50% shake, that's what that would look like. Now I think that maybe this offset needs to go back to 10. I shouldn't have closed the game. I should have closed it. Put that offset back to 10. So rein that in a little bit. The decay is... So it was 4 originally. I put it down to 3. I had it at 3.5, so I'm going to move this up. 3.25. These numbers actually do make a slight difference. Like you can tell, even though they're tiny, tiny differences. Okay, I think that feels relatively good. But now I need to reevaluate how I'm using this screen shake everywhere. So this resurrection container do add shake. I think that's actually probably fine. Tentacle is probably fine. Event pedestal do add shake. Okay. So the difference between these is do shake is it overwrites the value of the intensity, and then add shake adds intensity to the current intensity level. So the do shake just kind of like overwrites it. but the do add shake is additive. So if multiple of those happen in sequence, then the intensity would actually go up. I actually think this is probably fine. Card upgrade container, animation hammer impact, shovel hit trigger, dig trigger, artifact event container, earned currency. That's the other thing I need to check is the earned currency shake. That is using the do add shake, so that's going to be adding up if I get a lot of currency at once. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right, let's take a look at obelisk. Does this do any shaking? Yeah. Okay. So it was a relatively minor tweak, I think, but I'm also going to go to my game camera and do the same thing. Do I have a game camera? Map camera. Map container. Close that. Map camera, here we go. Yeah, so I'm going to change this as well. This is 800. Is this fast noise light the same? It's used in 2 places. Okay. That's a nice feature. This is 800. This is 3.25. Max offset is 1. $800. Okay, I think that's correct. And then we need to look at where map camera, shaky camera, shake. On boss entered, shake duration. Okay. Is that the only place where that's used? Add shake. Nope. Find all references. That's not used anywhere. Stop shake. Find all references. Okay, so basically just this shake is used here, which I can test now. I can do project debug notoriety level to 99. We can see how that shake looks. Yes, yeah. Curious how you did your drag logic. Is it signals and does the card control it? Let me just skip through this real quick. Okay, that looks good to me. Cool. Is it just signals? I'll explain it a little bit in just a second. Let me remove these. And then also go to my drawer UI and remove this. And remove these. Okay. Map container. Sorry, I will answer your question in just a second. Why did these materials change? That's kind of concerning, but I guess we will just roll with it. Okay, how do I do my drag and drop logic? So I actually, for doing custom drag and drop, I like to use a third-party like orchestrator for it. Not third-party in the sense that it's coming from another developer, but just like there's a third node that manages it. So the way that I've made the cards is that the cards basically don't know anything about themselves. So this is my card script. The card, I don't think the card even knows where it's at in terms of what board it's on or what position it's at. The card is only responsible for really having methods to animate it in certain ways and for displaying the visuals in accordance with its state. But it doesn't know where it is. The only thing it really does that's relevant to the drag and drop system is it has the on mouse entered and on mouse exited signals. So it notifies when the mouse has entered or exited it. That's basically it. It doesn't do anything with the mouse events. It just notifies that. And then what I have is I have a card mouse events manager. This is where all the drag and drop logic happens. This is the third party like orchestrator that will listen for all the mouse, the card mouse events and handle them. And as you can see, there's a ton of state in here. But this is handling more than just the drag and drop. This is handling like all related mouse events. So this is responsible for popping open the inspector. It's responsible for scrolling the tooltips if they have to be scrolled, so on and so forth. It might be a good idea to split this class up into just drag and drop functionality versus other functionality, but I think the problem is the reason why it's maintained as one class is because I need to maintain all of these different states here. So I have like the clicking down state, the clicking up state, the dragging state, so on and so forth. And I've got a bunch of logic that runs when those states change. So it might be hard to break up this class. But anyway, there's a lot going on in here because there's a lot of cases to manage. But yeah, so I don't know what to say other than there's a lot going on in here, but I'm using like a third party, like a third node orchestrator that manages all of the state. The cards don't know anything about themselves, and I think that's, if you're going to do anything to do a drag and drop system, I think the most important thing is the things that are being dragged shouldn't know like anything about themselves. It should always be something that's like higher up that has like a bird's eye view of everything that manages what's being dragged and what's not. Because otherwise, like imagine if you put the dragging state on the card itself. Well, now you have to go out to every other card and tell them that like, hey, if you thought you were dragging, you're not dragging, right? If the card is being dragged, it might have to modify a bunch of its internal state, but then you have to notify it like, hey, you've been dropped. So now you need to reset all that internal state and everything. It's just a lot easier to do that from a node that has like a bird's eye view of everything that is connected into all of the game systems that it needs to be connected into. And so like, for example, when I start dragging a card, let's see, begin drag, I can handle all of this logic about like what board the mouse is hovering over. I don't have to do that logic at the card level. I can do it out here, and I already have a reference to like the board manager, and so I can say, hey, which board is the mouse over currently while I'm dragging, and then I can also orchestrate the whole process of like, okay, if I'm dropping the card onto a board, I need to first make sure that that card can be dropped onto that board. And if it can't be dropped onto that board, then I need to revert to the previous state snapshot that I have, which basically means just like put the card back where it came from. All of that stuff I think is a lot easier to do if you are not trying to do all of that at the card level itself. So anyway, it's an auto load. Yes, it's an auto load, yeah. I think that, you know, you could definitely do a drag and drop system simpler than this. I just have a lot of weird cases to handle in here. So that's why it's ballooned, but yeah. Anyway, it's a custom system for drag and drop. It's not using any of the drag and drop capabilities that are built into Godot. And the cards are not handling any state whatsoever related to anything about what board they're in. They are just purely visual components, basically, with some mouse handling stuff. So yeah. Anyway, let's figure out what we should do now. I think I'm happy with the camera shake stuff. Let me just take another look at it real quick. And then we can do something. We can draw some new art or whatever. Figure something out. I've been working on this basically like all day, which is good. I mean, I'm having fun with it, but I'm also getting tired. So that is a downside of working on something all day, is you get tired. If only we couldn't get tired. Turn this back down. Just want to take another look at the screen shake here. Make sure everything's working well. Oh yeah, that feels great. I like that. So it's a subtle difference, but the slightly lower decay rate and the slightly higher noise speed has made the camera shake feel a lot better. Probably you can't tell on the stream, but it is a good change, I think. Yeah. Cool. Gotta say, appreciate the answer again. Yeah, for sure. I've been super busy today, which is why I missed the first stream from today. It's alright, being busy is good sometimes. Depends on what you're busy with, I guess. Okay, I think this is working well. Sleep tax evasion would go hard, yeah. Welcome, Lenzo. Okay. Let's think about adding some new content here. I think that sounds good. What are we going to add though? I wanted to add an artifact that, well, an artifact that increases bleed duration would be cool. So an artifact that increases bleed duration. I also wanted to do a alchemical reagent that would just grant a bunch of residue when you use it. I think that would be kind of cool. Increases, if we were to do an artifact that increases bleed duration, what would that look like? What would the theme for that artifact be? Copy card event. That is an event that I want to do. Probably not for this playtest, but I think it'd be cool to have an event where you could go and put a card into the grid and it just creates an absolute duplicate of that card. And so you can just have two of the really powerful card you have in your build. I think that would be super cool. But we're not going to do that for now. So trigger nodes, a booster, increase sell value of cards. That could work. We do need to add more legendary abilities. I'm going to see if I can add a couple of those. Add more legendary abilities. Don't know if we're going to do that right now. Busy with moving a lot of camera equipment and making sure that everything works, and also making sure that all interview questions is ready to be asked. Oh, are you doing a film project? Then also setting up the equipment as well. This one I would love to do. Change all keywords to another. Fire, poison. So that is different than... So imagine you have like apply 6 fire, and every time the enemy does fire damage, you heal 1 or whatever. Imagine if you could change that fire keyword into something else like bleed. So now it becomes apply 6 bleed every time the enemy heals or whatever. Gain, apply 6, 3 bleed or whatever. So that's different than my convert. So I have abilities that convert like shielding to fire, right? So converts all shield applied to fire. That just takes that's just a 1-to-1 replacement. So, if fire is going to be applied, it gets converted into shield for the same value. I think I said that backwards, but that's the same thing. But then there are abilities that scale off of like fire applied, right? Which is not the same thing because you're not converting fire in that case. In that case, you're listening for fire that's being applied and then doing some kind of ability based on that. So I thought it would be cool if you could change the keywords across an entire card from like, oh, if this scales off of fire, like it applies healing based on the enemy fire applied, for example, you could change that into this applies healing in response to enemy bleed applied or something. Anyway, I don't know if I'm explaining myself well there, but that is going to require like a pretty big architectural change with respect to the card abilities, but I would love to do that because I think that would be super, super cool. I think the main challenge there is Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of challenges. That's why I haven't started it yet. One challenge is changing the descriptions to accurately reflect the new keyword. And then also the other challenge is, I think I'm passing or I'm checking a lot of abilities by reference. So I'm checking a lot of equality. I'm checking, like, if I need to check if an ability has been executed or whatever, I'm doing that by equality. But if I've got some kind of system that's changing that ability under the hood, then that reference may not match or may not be valid. So I just have to think about a way to handle all those cases so that I get a nice clean system. So probably not for this playtest, but anyway, that would be cool. Ancient Control H keycap. What? Oh, for the for the artifact? Let's do an artifact. I want to do an artifact that increases bleed duration. That sounds like fun. Into Bodman and also now Flam is the two film stuff I'm doing with a student group film project as well. Very cool. Very cool. I was into doing film projects when I was in high school. I had convinced myself that I was going to go to film school, and then I decided to go to game development instead. Yep. Okay, so I just need to figure out what theme this artifact is going to have for this increased bleed duration. Assets, artifact. What is an appropriate artifact to increase bleed duration? That is a good question. Yeah, what are we gonna do? The find and replace artifact. That's funny. Lancet? What is that? I mean, I knew it was a medical journal, but like, what is item? Oh, I see. Primarily used for capillary blood sampling. Interesting. Is there like an herb that prevents clotting? Turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, natural blood thinners. Herb that prevents blood clotting, medieval alchemy, medieval medicine. The bleed stop it. No, that's bleed stopping. I want bleed continuing. I want bleed continuing. Yarrow. It's a coagulant that helps stop bleeding. That doesn't help. Garlic is an anticoagulant. Well, that would be boring. We don't want to do we don't want to do garlic. Willow bark. Willow bark. The bark of the willow tree contains salicin, which has blood thinning properties and is a natural precursor to aspirin. Is that real? I don't know if I believe the AI overview. Willow bark, medicinal. Oh, willow bark. Nature's aspirin. Let's see what you all are saying here. Artifact idea, Mask of Mirrors. Incoming elemental types are randomly changed. A low chance to reflect set attack. Incoming elemental types are randomly changed. That's a good one. Medical device used to make people bleed. In German, it's Aderlass. Giant mosquito head. Alternative Phlegm. Jar of leeches. Oh, there's a leech, yeah. How would I do a jar of leeches? Maybe that's a good one, but I don't know how I would draw that. Artifact idea, Curse of X, turn all allied minions, except for the strongest, into weapons. Oh, interesting. I had to disappear for a minute. We doing content now? Yeah, we're gonna do a new artifact. Scarificator. All those are medieval devices for medical bleeding practice. Interesting, okay. Hello, Kelso. How do you get your SFX? You have so many. Yeah, Sonus GDC audio bundle, plus some other bundles that I think I've purchased from Humble Bundle and whatnot. But what I do is, like, when I see a good sound bundle that gives me the rights to use it for unlimited commercial projects, I will download it, I'll purchase it, whatever, and I just store it long term on my hard drive. And then when I'm making a game, I just have this library that I've built up over the years where I can just go and pull in any sound that I want. But you could definitely get the Sonus GDC audio bundle. That's like, what, I think somebody said it was like 70 gigabytes just there alone. I think I've downloaded several like Humble Bundle sound effects packs, or sound effects packs through the Humble Bundle. And of course, you know, you just pay whatever the minimum amount is necessary to get all of the sounds. And then just throw them on the hard drive. And I think I have currently 37,000 sound effects that I can look through, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but it's not like a whole lot, because of all the sounds, of all the 37,000 sounds, it's going to be a tiny subset of those that are actually applicable to my game, and an even smaller subset of those that actually sound good in the game and like consistent. And so several times I've actually had to go in and like create my own sound effects by like cutting and splicing pieces of different sound effects together, layering them on, applying filters and stuff to make them sound consistent and like they belong in the game. So 37,000, it's a good amount of choice, but it's not enough to just like find the sound effect you need and just drag it in. Sometimes that's the case, but a lot of times you have to do some extra work. Enemy card idea, Falling Star deals significant... Hold on, before I read that, I want to write down this before I forget. The artifact idea, project weapon tag to minions. Okay. Enemy card idea, Falling Star deals significant damage but has a high chance to miss. Accuracy increases with distance to top of board. Interesting. That is a good one. Falling Star deals significant damage but has a high chance to miss. Okay. All right. I can feel that. I can see that. Enemy card ideas. Falling Star, significant chance to miss. Accuracy increases based on distance, top of board. An Iron Maiden. I already have an Iron Maiden, but it's a good suggestion. Don't know if it would be an artifact, but I suppose it could be. Thought the Phlegm looked cool. Let's see. I don't know what a Phlegm is. Let's see. Images. Okay. Interesting. That could be a good one. Has some sort of hold ability or cooldown reducer, also damage. Maybe not reducer. Oh, that's for the Iron Maiden. Artifact idea, old heroic shield converts incoming damage into preserve. After X amount of damage, the shield breaks and turns into alchemical residue. Oh, so that's an interesting artifact idea. I like that. That's a very unique idea for sure. Old heroic shield converts incoming damage into preserve. Do you have a loot? People loved loots back then. I don't have a loot. Okay, so we could either do, I don't know. I mean, we could do a Fleam. Fleam. The falling star would increase with accuracy the closer it is to the top of the board. I got the idea from when you were doing the pond. Oh, I see. I see. From the closer it is to the top of the board. Based on the... Okay. So if I'm going to do a Fleam, how is this going to look? I mean, it looks like this. Okay. And then the one that I'm looking at on Google here kind of has like 3 different ones. That probably works, and then this is the one that looks like a keychain. This is the one I'm looking at on Google. Do I not have Pixel Perfect on? There we go. Okay. That'll work, I think. But look at that, it ends up being perfectly sized as well. Fleam looks like a can opener for humans, yeah. Call the weak. The weakest card of sacrifice at the start of combat. Gain damage and preserve equal to its level. Okay. I'm liking them. I'm liking them. I just sold my Fleam, got a good price for it on Facebook Marketplace. Very nice. I didn't know you were into bloodletting. You always see me because I'm making a platformer game alone. Are you talking... Wait, are you sharing your game in Discord? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Making a platformer. I always see you because I'm... Maybe it's supposed to be I never see you? I don't know. But in any case, I'm glad you're here, Kelso. I hope it goes without saying I'm kidding, but I feel like it may not. Yeah, no, we got it. We got it. Nobody here seriously thought that you were into bloodletting as a hobby. I assure you that. Well, maybe I can't speak for everyone, but I think I speak for at least most people here. Adderlass is called bloodletting in English. Okay. Artifact idea. Cheap scalpel. Increases bleed effectiveness per stack. Starts at X stack. Well, this is the bleed effectiveness artifact, essentially. So I think that this is going to fulfill that role, but let's see. So now we got to try to get this looking good. Got to try to get this looking good. Hopefully it turns out. If it doesn't turn out, then, well, by golly, we could say we tried. By golly. Goodness. Okay. I think. All right. I think that's decent for the shading to start anyway. And of course, we're going to modify this a little bit so that way. Actually, I wonder if I should make it, I should probably make it like old and rusty instead of this purple color. I was thinking maybe, I was thinking this would be metal or something, but I don't think that's going to work. So we're going to make it maybe old and rusty instead. That will probably be better. So we can just easily change this color. Orange, red. That works. Maybe, let's see. I can actually use red more in these parts as well. Okay. Okay, that works. Here. And then we can use this darker color here to just increase the, I don't know, increase. What is it increasing? I have no idea. Okay. The most important thing is that we're getting there. That is what's most important. Okay, I think that works. Maybe that's fine. I don't like... Maybe if I just do that. Yeah, I kind of just don't... There's something weird about this one in particular, but... Might just bring all this down a little bit. Okay, well, I think it's passable. I might actually thin this out a little bit. Ah, what happened? I don't know. It's probably okay. I'm just trying to think, like, maybe I'm too close to it. I think maybe it's okay. Could also just remove the problematic parts. Man, I don't know why it's just not jiving so far, but that's all right. I think it's presentable. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I certainly think it's presentable. Anyway, it's probably all right. I did attend the Bloodletting tour back in the day. Saw some good bands that day, but I'm sure most people wouldn't know who they were. Yeah, well, that's funny though. But no, I don't know about the Bloodletting tour. Artifact idea, Vampire Cloak. Each time bleed deals damage to an enemy, heal half that amount. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a good one. Shard of Set. Changes the effects of enemy cards to a different effect. May become redundant if there aren't a lot of types of damage. And 3 uses and it breaks, cannot be used on bosses. I already kind of have something like that. I need to fix this. There's something wonky about this. Oh, that looks better. That looks better already. Okay. Let's just shave this one down a little bit. It's just this one. This one is just being a pain in my rear. Okay, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Smoldering Ember decreases vision and overworld, increases fire effectiveness. Okay. Rusty Fleam, you mean the tetanus applicator? Yeah. I really envy your career in game dev. Hello, Real Knocks Out. I'm currently a student and my workload is so heavy that I barely have any time left for my own projects. Yeah, having the time to do things is, you know, it's a luxury that a lot of people don't have, which I understand, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I have a game dev career, given that most of my income is not coming from sales of my games. It's coming from sales of my Udemy courses and also my savings account. So, you know, that's the thing. It's like when you're looking at what somebody else is doing, what somebody else is spending their time doing, you know, you don't know necessarily what, how do I want to say this? You don't know what they're sacrificing to do that either. Or you don't know where they've been in their life. So I guess my point is that, yeah, I don't necessarily want to linger too much on comparing yourself to others. I'm sure you will get time in your life at some point, hopefully soon, where you can have plenty of time to work on your game projects. But yeah, don't try to envy me too much because I'm not exactly making money from my games, so. But, you know, obviously it is nice to be able to do my own thing for these past couple of years. But, you know, that's not going to last forever either. Okay, I think I've finally gotten it into a spot where it looks a little bit more presentable. Okay. Let's see. Artifact idea, corrupted blood. When poison is applied to you, heal that much. Instead, when heal is applied to you, take poison damage equal to that amount. Oh, so it like switches poison and healing. That's a good one. Artifact ideas. Swap poison and healing. That's a good one. Streaming again. Game dev is life. Yes, streaming again. We're going to implement this fleam, this fleam. I'm actually not convinced that I'm saying it correctly. Let's look it up. Fleam definition. No, not AI mode. No, I've never clicked AI mode in my life. Is there no way to hear the pronunciation? Fleam pronunciation. I'm not even going to be able to hear it anyway. The word fleam is pronounced as fleam, rhyming with team or seam. Okay, well, I am saying it right. I am saying it right. There we go. I do indeed speak English. Yes, indeed. Okay, so there we go. Lock that. Export the artifacts here. Let's go ahead and create the fleam artifact. And then we will go ahead and also do the script for it. Resource, artifact resource, Fleam. Okay. Display name Fleam. Copy this. Paste this here. Make unique. I should have pasted it as unique, but that's all right. Okay. Edit region. Fleam. Okay. Description. Shoot. Oh. Bleed applied lasts 5 turns longer. Okay, so that's basically that. Now we got to create this script for it. So what was the previous one I did? That's a fine. Let's just do immortality elixir. What was the previous one I did? Oh, the unicorn horn. Okay, so fleam.cs. The only reason I wanted to copy this is because it's a relatively simple script with not a lot of garbage that I have to delete. Look at how much time I saved by copying that. Ah, so efficient. Anyway, card idea. An ordinary man who causes a little damage but can turn into a werewolf if he uses the moon artifact or is in certain places. Interesting. That is a very, very cool idea. So an unassuming man that transforms into a werewolf under certain conditions. I don't know what that conditions would do, but I kind of like that idea. So imagine you're playing the game, you get this unassuming man, and it does not note anywhere that it transforms into a werewolf. It's just like, maybe it hints at it a little bit. Maybe if you read the flavor text, it will basically clue you into the fact that this will transform into a werewolf. But imagine that you don't really get any indications of that at all. And you're playing as a player, and you have this man in your inventory, and then all of a sudden, you have a werewolf in your inventory, and you're like, what the heck? That could be really fun. That could be really, really fun. So interesting. I don't know if I want to hide it from the player, though. Maybe that's not a good idea. I just think it would be like a surprising moment if you're like, this was just an unassuming man. You thought that's all he was, kind of a garbage card. And then, boom, he transforms into a werewolf. That would be really cool. That's a good idea. Now, what that condition would be, I don't know. I don't want to make it a super rare condition because, you know, if people just think that the old man or the unassuming man is like a garbage card and they just throw him away immediately, if the condition is also rare, then that's just going to increase the rarity of like having the card plus the condition. But again, if I like indicate that in the flavor text that maybe he'll transform into a werewolf, but I don't indicate that on the card, I think that could be really fun. Artifact idea, Bloody Eagle, deals physical damage to the center of the enemy board, spreading outwards to the entire board. Well, the thing is that cards don't have individual health. Like the board just has one health pool. So there's no like damaging the center of the board. There's no damaging the edge of the board. It's like, you just damage the board. Moon cycles during the run. I think I've already tried to get him to put a dang moon in the background. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I should add. I forgot. That was a good idea, and I wanted to do that. I think I just forgot. Add moon to background, to combat background. I also want to draw different combat backgrounds depending on what region you're in. So draw unique combat backgrounds for each region. So a moon cycle would be nice indeed. Interesting. I haven't been in a stream since before you released Gunforge. I had a different name. From now, my last name was TurnRP. No worries if you don't remember. No, I remember you. Welcome, Super Silly Acorn, previously known as TurnRP. Welcome back, I should say. Moon cycles would be neat, like an artifact that has different phases of the moon as a state. Yeah, yeah. Moon cycles? We have to keep the scope in check here, but I think it would be cool if there was like just like a loose moon cycle kind of mechanic or something. We'll see. If I did a werewolf card, that would fit in perfect. That would be amazing. A moon in the background of the battle screen that gets progressively more full. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. See, I didn't know that. See, I did know that, just forgot. No, I appreciate the suggestions for sure. Add full moon werewolf transformation, yeah. And it could be something like, it could just be like every node you visit or whatever, the moon cycle advances. And it could be a super short cycle too. It could be like 4 different phases, right? So it could be like waning crescent, waxing crescent, half moon, full moon. I guess we probably wanted to throw new moon in there as well. But so maybe 5 phases. Yeah, no, 4 phases where there's some part of the moon visible, and then the 5th phase it's invisible. I wouldn't want to do that. Well, if I did that, I could do it as a purely visual thing, just to add some intrigue to the background elements. Or I could actually tie that in as a mechanic into the game where certain cards scale based on the moon cycle. So, you know, you could plan your movement very carefully so that you land on a tough combat on like a full moon or whatever. And maybe you have a card that scales based on whether it's a full moon or not. That could work. I mean, that's increasing the scope of the game a little bit, but we'll throw that in the backlog as something to consider. How about some effects that will be dependent on notoriety? I have one of those already. There's an eyeball card. Just sign up for your Patreon. Looking forward to the playtest. Not sure what info you receive, but straight pointer in Discord. Yeah, so if you connect your Patreon account to your Discord, it should automatically assign you a Discord role in the server based on what tier you're subscribed to. So that's all hooked up automatically. So as long as your Patreon account and your Discord are connected, I think that should work. And thank you, by the way. Appreciate that. I hope I don't let you down. I hope the playtest is fun and you guys like it. I still got to get Gunforge. I remember watching the streams so much because I really like that game. Awesome, yeah. Well, Gunforge may or may not be going on sale in the next couple of days, so keep an eye on that. We're in scope creep territory. A moon cycle open a lot of options for artifacts. It does, for sure. An eclipse, but you need a sun for that. Could make a whole unlock pack. Out of that mechanic. Oh, like a moon pack. Could have special events that benefit from phases of the moon, better reagents with a full moon, more dangerous enemies on a new moon. Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of possibilities. With that for sure, but anyway. Let's go back to the Fleam. So actually, tell you what, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and then when I come back, we'll work on the Fleam, and then maybe we'll add some more content. I mean, I got nothing else to do tonight. I am getting a little bit tired. I'm slowing down quite a bit. I'm getting sluggish, but maybe we can add a couple more artifacts or some cards or something, and we'll just kind of goof off. We'll just kind of have some fun. That's about it. So anyway, give me 3 minutes. I'll be right back, and we will continue on. Okay, I'm back. So, bleed status. Bleed status. So we got this turn duration here. So we're going to want to modify this turn duration. Now, there's a proper way to do this, which is I could apply stacks. See, the problem is that this bleed duration is not, like, this duration is not a normal part of a status. So there's not really a generic way to make the Phaleem have like an ability that's like modify status duration, because not every status has this kind of duration. Like this bleed turns remaining. So this turns remaining gets subtracted. So yeah, this base status, this has a turn duration in it. Where is this actually being changed? I forgot how this works. So there is a turn duration on the base status class, but where is this is expired being used? Tick statuses, status.execute. If status.is expired, remove status. Status.is expires. Huh? Wait a minute. I don't know how this works. This turn duration is never going down on this bleed status. Bleed turns. Huh? Stacks is equal. So it's got the stacks here. Wait a minute. What? I don't even know how this is working. So we've got get status, remove status. Status is expired. Hold on a second. I got to check this. G.print status is bleed status. I have to check this. Hold on a second. I don't know how the bleed is ever being removed. That's the thing. Because according to my calculations, that should not be happening. So I don't understand, because basically this is expired is what's being used to check. Oh gosh, what is going on? My mouse just got really sluggish. This turn duration here is what's being used to determine, oh, is expired is also stacks is less than or equal to 0. I see. So it's if the turn duration or the stacks, right? Okay. So what's happening is the bleed, the total. So bleed is a little bit weird because the way that it works is that each application of bleed lasts for 10 turns. And so that means that if I apply 5 bleed at turn 1, and then 5 bleed at turn 5, that turn 1's 5 bleed stacks and turn 5's 5 bleed stacks are going to be equal to 10 bleed stacks up to the point that the first application has been around for 10 turns. And then the first application needs to fall off, which is going to subtract 5, right? And then the second application is going to remain at 5 bleed, right? So what I'm doing to keep track of that is I have a list of what were the stacks all applied at once, and how many turns remaining. And then every time we tick the statuses, I just go through that list of tuples and I decrement this turns remaining. And if the turns remaining is less than or equal to 0, subtract the stacks on that tuple or from that tuple from the overall stacks value on the status, and then remove it, so on and so forth. So that's how that's working. So the isExpired is looking if the turn duration is less than 0 or less than or equal to 0, or the stacks is less than or equal to 0. So that makes sense. Anyway, why did I do all that? Basically what I need to do is I just need to change this turn duration here in accordance with if we've got the Fleam or not. And to be honest, Artifact Manager, I don't know. I mean, I could do something like modify bleed duration. But I also am doing like this get artifact count by ID in a couple of places. So basically the way that I'm approaching all these artifacts is, and maybe I should come up with a different way of doing this, but every artifact extends base artifact, which is an abstract class, and then there's a number of methods in here that I can override in order to get my artifact to work the way that I want it to. The problem is I have artifacts that are so specific that it's not really worth creating that method because I'm never going to use it on another artifact. So for example, in the map container here, I have the fog reveal distance for the map, which will have additional fog reveal distance based on the number of telescopes that I have. And it's like, this is a lot easier to just to do that check in here than it is to go to the artifact manager, have a method that says modify fog reveal distance, then go to my base status and create a or I have to create a modify, or not base status, base artifact. Go to base artifact, create a modify fog reveal distance, then go to my Fleam and override that. It's like, at some point it just becomes easier just to get this artifact count by ID and just like throw it in there. I wonder if there is a cleaner way to do it than that, but yeah, I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. Anyway. So anyway, with the Fleam, I think I would just do this. Var additional turn duration is equal to artifact manager dot get artifact count by ID. Fleam. And this is times 5. And we do plus additional turn duration, and that's it. Oh, and we probably want to do that here as well. Okay. You know, that's basically it. Can have a carnival that the player can visit. I do want to do some kind of gambling mini game at some point. I always love when gambling mini games are in there. They can play stupid games and win stupid prizes. You could add a raccoon that can steal from the opponent team mid-fight. I totally don't love raccoons. Pay no attention to the profile picture. A raccoon could work. A raccoon could work. Artifact idea. Belt of a champion. Increases critical hit chance by X. Decreases critical hit damage by Y. Any damage that's not critical hit is 0. Increases critical. Interesting. That is an interesting idea. Is it removing items from the list you're iterating? Wouldn't that create a bug? That's a good question, but no, because I'm decrementing the I counter here. So I'm removing the element at the current index, but then I'm stepping the index back by 1. And so what that effectively does is that it removes the active index, sets the index to the previous index, but then on the next iteration, it increments again. And that effectively means that it's just operating normally. If I didn't have this here, then yes, it would skip an element, but I'm basically saying since I'm removing it, we'll decrement that index and it won't skip any elements anymore. And this expression here in for loops, this is evaluated every time the loop returns to the top. So this bleed turns.count will always be updated. Now, if I was storing the count like this, and then I use that here, then yeah, this count would become stale after I removed items. But that's not what I'm doing, so yeah. It's completely, I mean, I think it's usually recommended not to do this precisely because you can run into bugs if you're not careful, but I think if you know what you're doing, this is perfectly acceptable. The alternative would just be to store a list of indices that I want to remove and then remove them outside the for loop, but, you know, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Artifact idea, channeled spell, increases all ally turns by X, increases magnitude by Y. Channeled spell, increases all ally turns, increases magnitude by Y. Yeah, I don't know magnitude. So the other problem with designing artifacts and stuff is that a lot of abilities in the game don't have a magnitude. And so do I want to introduce an artifact that buffs magnitude, which is basically just forcing the player into using abilities that have magnitudes? And also, how do I communicate that to the player, right? Like, how do I think that's a little bit tricky. I'm not saying it can't be done. It's just like, I think it's a tricky design problem to some extent. That's why I've been opting more for like doing very targeted artifacts, like increase fire damage, right? Like it's very, very explicit. I kind of want to see if I can create an editor plugin where I can put a lot of these debug options at the top, at the toolbar level here. I think that'd be nice. Anyway. Enable test player artifacts. Here we go. So how am I actually going to test this? That's a good question. Let's see. This 3 bleed. So this is 10 turns. Okay, so I should basically see this being able to stack 6 bleed. Why is my... Oh no. Why is that board all the way up there? Did I break something? Uh-oh. Oh no. I'm very concerned about that. Why was my board all the way up there? Oh gosh. Don't tell me that's not going to happen again. Oh no. That's not good. I guess we'll just ignore it and hope it doesn't happen again. I guess it could be more targeted. Like instead, heavy weapon artifact, it would do the same idea, but only for weapons. Yeah. I mean, these are good ideas. I just need to... I think they need a little bit of finagling to get them to work well in this system, at least. I hate it when bugs like that happen where you see something occur once and you can't recreate it. Yeah. Anyway, let's see if this works. Phantom bugs are the worst. Okay, so we've got 3 bleed there. I should be able to put 6 bleed. Oh, 9 bleed. Why did it do 9 bleed? Three. Six. Oh, it probably critted, that's why. Yeah, it's got a 2x crit multiplier, so it critted. That's what happened. Okay. Very cool. So yeah, I think that's working just fine. So yeah, this applies 3, and then it applies 6, and then that 3 falls off, and then it applies 6, and then 3 falls off. So yeah, that's definitely working. I'm having to deal with one now in my game. You maximize the game right after it launched, and then open the alchemy almost frame perfect to the tab being enabled. Interesting. So do I need to maximize and then press tab at the same time? Oh, I've got a bug here. Run manager is not enabled. Oh, why is that happening? We're discovering all kinds of bugs. Drawer UI says that run manager isn't available. Object reference not set to an instance of object. Register player inventory board. That's weird. Wait a minute, did I just break something? Why is this? Wait, what's going on? What's going on, Godot? How did I just break this? It's just, it has broken twice in a row now. Oh, goodness. Oh, I ran the wrong scene, probably. Yeah, I think I ran the wrong scene. I ran this scene and it didn't work. Okay, alright, good. Alright. That's just me being dumb. I'm paranoid now. I really don't know why that broke. Well, I don't think, if it was the case that I maximized the window at the same time as hitting it, I don't know if that's... I mean, I guess I could, like... That's so weird. That's so weird. I don't want that to happen, Godot. Okay, well. Good eyes. You maximized while the game was still on the black screen. Okay. So I have to hit it frame perfect. Well, there's an easy way to do that. We can limit the FPS. Okay, we're going on a wild goose chase, I guess, but that's all right. Sorry, I'm just writing down a random thing that I wanted to write down. So if we go to FPS, max FPS 10. Let's see if I can get it to work if it's supposed to be frame perfect. Well, that is easy on the eyes, isn't it? Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reproduce that. I feel like a speed runner trying to hit the frame perfect glitch. Just happened. Bug hunting. Yeah. Interesting. Turn it down to 5. We're going to try it. I don't know if that actually will work if I just limit the FPS like that, but it's worth a shot, I think. Shiny frame hunting in GBA Pokemon. I don't think I'm going to be able to reproduce this bug. Look at the VOD again. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look at the VOD for sure. I don't know if that was just like a very... I mean, I've never seen that happen before. But if I can identify and fix it, that would be good. But I can't... If I can't reproduce it, then I can't fix it. So get rid of that max FPS. Okay. All right, we're good. We're good. Add more legendary abilities. Extend card statistics tool. Add animation for reagents consumed. Tell you what, I'm actually going to end the stream there. I'm getting very tired, so I'm going to probably cease work on Alchemortis for the night. But I'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, so I hope to see you there. Again, the Patreon is linked below. Alchemortis is available for wishlisting. That's also linked below. The Discord is linked below as well. Again, on Friday, so in just a couple days, the playtest will be going live for Patreon members only. The Patreon members who are active subscribers will get 1 week of access to the playtest before everyone else. And then after the Patreon early access period, everyone will get to play. So if you're watching this right now, you don't have to support on Patreon. You don't have to give me any money to play the playtest. The playtest will be available for everyone who wants to try it. It's just that the Patreon members are going to get access first. So that's how it works. And then again, to reiterate, when the playtest is over, so once the Patreon members have had the 1 week of early access, and then once the public has had the 1 week of their access, what I do is I revoke access to the playtest. So if you get a Steam key sent to you because you're a Patreon subscriber, don't be alarmed when it says that that has been revoked from your library. That's just the way that I'm revoking the access to the playtest. If you remain a Patreon subscriber, I'll send you another Steam key when the playtest ends. So that's just how I'm managing access to the playtests. But anyway, check out the links in the description below. Very much appreciate it. And thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, bye-bye everyone.